We are getting to the halfway point in the book now, and section 5 is titled Navigating Through Existing Narratives in Search of Truth. Here we have chapter 15, Searching for the Truth of Biblical Identities. Chapter 16, The Path to Heaven or the New Yerushalayim, Jerusalem. Chapter 17, A Call to Holiness. Chapter 18, The Big Elephant in the Room named Jewish Israel. Let me share a few things from searching for biblical identities. In this chapter, I will also touch on the Berlin Congo West Africa Conference of 1884-1885, where 14 Western nations gathered to decide on how the colonial borders of Africa would be demarcated and how they would share in the countries they created. One of the biggest outcomes of this was the erasing of the truth of the identity of the tribes of Africa, and likewise the erasure of critical linkages to biblical history and geography. Let me go to page 297. What I share below are some of the areas I explored on my journey. I'm not stating my discoveries as absolute truth, but rather as what I have found so far on a continuing journey of searching and not just accepting the narratives that we have been indoctrinated with for so long through manipulated history. Map of Africa before 1884. Ancient maps of Africa, for example, from the year 1747, show Negro land, Slave Coast, and also an area called Kingdom of Judah in the western part of Africa, Nigeria, Niger, Ghana, etc. And likewise, several other biblical names dotted across the continent. Is this a coincidence or a hidden truth about true biblical identities? On this page and the next page, you will see that there are several maps that give some indication of what existed on the African continent in terms of names before it was all erased by the new naming structures that colonialism brought upon the continent. On page 305, I look at the similarities between ancient Paleo-Hebrew and Bantu tribal languages. But let me move on and speak a little bit about the Earth's 7 pillars. The Earth's lithosphere is made up of 7 major tectonic plates, of which the African plate is one. I often wonder if these 7 tectonic plates could be related to the 7 pillars as it is written in Proverbs 9, verse 1, as part of the divine design of the Creator, the Most High God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Proverbs 9:1, Wisdom has built her house. She has hewn out her 7 pillars. The political state of Israel is situated on the northeastern corner of the African tectonic plate, near the boundary with the Arabian plate. In fact, before the geographical term Middle East was created, in the late 1800s, early 1900s, the area used to be known as the Near East, and before that it was known as Northeast Africa. Palestine is also on the African plate, while Jordan, Lebanon, and Syria straddle the African and Arabian plates. All this made me wonder whether there is perhaps a deeper spiritual reason why they felt it necessary to separate the land of Israel from Africa. If that is the divinely designed pillar of the earth, the tectonic plate that it was created on. This separation has massive implications for understanding true biblical geography and hence what is happening as we read in the Bible, where it is happening, who was involved, and the cultural context. Without this separation, it means most of what we read in the Bible happened in Africa, on the African tectonic plate or pillar. Was our Messiah, our Mashiach Yahusha, born in Africa, on the African tectonic plate, as per how wisdom built her house, as in Proverbs 9:1. Interesting to be able to think about it. Let me move on to the chapter, the big elephant in the room, called Jewish Israel. Ashkenazi Jews. The biggest and most well-known group of Jews today are Ashkenazi Jews. Ashkenazi refers to a group of Jewish people whose ancestors lived primarily in Central and Eastern Europe, particularly in the Rhineland, Western Germany, and later migrated to other parts of Europe like Poland and Russia. They are one of the two major ancestral groups within Judaism, and the other being the Sephardic Jews. Most of the world's Jewish population today identifies as Ashkenazi, and they have a distinct cultural identity, including the Yiddish language, according to their Shabbat and their unique traditions. A search in the scriptures reveals who Ashkenazi is, as is listed in the table of nation lineages from Noah, as it is written in Genesis 10 from 1 to 31. The sons of Japheth were Gomer, Magog, Madai, Javan, Tubal, Meshach, and Tiras. And the sons of Gomer were Ashkenaz, Ephah, and Togarmah. Why am I mentioning all of this? Ashkenaz was the son of Gomer, who was the son of Japheth. The lineage of Japheth is also referred to as the coastland people of the Gentiles. Ashkenaz is a descendant of Japheth and not a descendant of Shem. They are Japhethites, not Shemites. Yahuwah's firstborn son, Israel, or Yasharal, as you will discover in the book, comes from the lineage of Shem. They are Shemites, which is where the term Semitic comes from. Ashkenaz cannot claim to be Shemitic or Semitic to be of the lineage of Shem. Perhaps this makes what Revelation chapter 2 verse 9 and Revelation chapter 3 verse 9 indicates to us when it speaks of Jews in name only, and also those who say they are Jews but are not, because perhaps this is referring to Ashkenaz.